time here. First of all, apologies for the delay. We had a few issues. I'm Leonardo Valenzuela Perez. I'm Director of International Partnerships at Ocean Visions. I will be stepping in for Sofia, who was organizing the session. She had a problem, so now we will have to go ahead. And I apologize in advance that I may not be completely brief in all the details of the session, but I will do my best to keep it running. So, why this session? So, we have been going through 3 days of several types of presentations, talking about solutions, talking about many things that require creating basically new things in the world. So, in order to solve this massive disruption that climate change is causing and the impacts of climate change, the impacts that it's having in the ocean, which is adds to that disruption, it's a compounded disruption, there are some actions that we can take. However, taking those actions not always means that it will be a completely safe act. There is a need to figure out how we are going to ensure that we can offer solutions in time to buffer, to mitigate some of the worst impacts of climate change, but at the same time, make sure that there are safeguards in place so that we can prevent harm as much as possible and we can have adequate risk assessment so that we can have a way to compare what will be in a scenario of total disruption, say at 2-3 degrees, and what would happen if we do something about it, from mitigation actions, from the negative emissions agenda, to maybe even other more dramatic, I would say, interventions if it gets to that point. And some of that was covered this morning, and some of that is currently in the agenda in several African forum and also global forum. So for this session, we have some excellent speakers that I will be bringing. I'll ask you to join me in the panel. And we have first Sisai Lucas from SOA Ethiopia. We have Asma from Climate Politics Hub from Morocco. And we have Dr. Suare Semesi from the National Environmental Management Council from Tanzania. And I'm trying to figure out if we have Alphonse here. Probably not. So that will be our panel for today then. So I'll just come here to start this conversation. So first of all, just to get into this discussion, this conversation about safeguards, about enabling conditions, of how can we balance all these actions around innovation policy, scientific investment. I will be like, just for our audience, it would be great if you can introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about the work that you are doing and what's like your take on the need for safeguards and enabling conditions in climate innovation. So if we can start from far away with our youth representative here.
Hello, am I audible? Perfect. Thank you, my dear brother Leo. I'm so happy to be here, especially representing the voice of youth from inland country to the world ocean, right? So I'm happy to be here in this pavilion. I think it's going to be the first initiative in my country since we are running the only ocean advocacy NGO from inland. So I'm so happy and thank you for having me today. Before introducing myself, we are in Eve of Ethiopia. So tomorrow we going to celebrate our new year. So I know this is the last day of this session. So I have to deliver some statement on behalf of my beautiful Ethiopian people. So I want to say Happy New Year, all of you guys, and we are very happy to see you in Addis. So I bring some gift to my panelists from my people. So I will invite my consultancy of the youth and all other organization in Ethiopia. Uh, Please, can you come here, TG? So we will give the gift to my beloved panelists. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. So, okay. Another Sacho. Yeah, this is our traditional scarf. It will remind our new year for this session. So, all right, you will be our champion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate. So, this is
You're a panelist?
Yeah.
Give this
yeah. Please, I need more. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Happy New Year, guys.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Makes us all smiling and feeling welcome.
This
Yeah.
represent our culture, our people, everything. So,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
this is the flag of Ethiopia to my beloved brother Leo. Thank you so much for your support, for your encouragement. I hope this will be the beginning of the vibration. Ethiopia will. There is something that we have to show for the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate.
Wow. Oh yeah. A bit excited, but we're good. Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, that was a surprise for me. Very thank you for that, Sise. Yeah, and of course, it's not New Year's yet. Is it okay to say it before it is? Or
Yeah, in this
okay, yeah, but so it will be 2018 tomorrow.
2018.
Yeah.
So maybe there is fun story in Ethiopia. You guys are in 2025, right? So if you miss something on 2023, 2024, come to Addis and fix everything. Then you go back to your country.
You can,
All
yeah.
right, fine. Still we are behind. So still we have time to innovate, to work for ocean.
Before
So
the
it's time
pandemic
to
happens.
press. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
Excellent. Perfect. Okay, so let's get back to the panel. So we were just starting to set this
All right.
conversation, and
Okay.
it's just like a round of introduction. Take 2 minutes.
All
Tell
right.
us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about where your work is right now in this confluence of enabling conditions and safeguards
All right.
for climate innovation.
Thank you. I think I'm audible, right? So, my name is Isai Lucas. I'm the founder and the hub leader of ACS2 Ethiopia, the only ocean advocacy NGO from inland country. In meantime, I'm a climate and tech innovator. So we work on capacity. We innovate for the problem that pressing the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So now the same, Asma, if you can tell us a little bit about your work.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I must apologize first because I'm going to read my notes. Been a little bit sick over the last 2 days, so not as spontaneous as I would like to, but it's still very present. And also I want to say, loving the gender balance in this panel, because I've heard that this morning, especially on the finance one, there hasn't been a lot of that. So this is really great. So my name is Asma Gdira. I'm Moroccan, and I'm currently the managing director of the International Climate Politics Hub. I'll say a little bit more about the hub later. And I lead strategy, diplomacy, and network development across Asia, Oceania, and Africa in the multilateral climate diplomacy space. I have about 15 years of experience and design and led international development programs in the MENA region, supported movement building across Africa, Europe, and Australia, where I spent the last 5 years before moving back to Morocco. And I also consulted on sustainability, gender, and innovation with various institutions, the UN, GIZ, etc. So my work is focused on the intersection of climate justice, governance, inclusive governance, and regenerative practices, and with a strong focus on like bridging the global majority and the global north. I'm also a facilitator and leadership strategist, and I have created many transformative learning experiences globally. And yeah, I'm like reading the bio that I sent to. So it's very like, born and raised in Morocco. I bring a cross-cultural perspective shaped by living across 4 continents. But yeah, I'll tell more about the ICPH in the second round when I
That would
speak
be
longer.
perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Asma. And Edwin, he wasn't here at the beginning. He's joining the panel. Edwin Mwashinga from UNESCO IOC Africa. Tell us.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Edwin Mwashinga. I had to force myself into this panel. My name is Edwin Mwashinga. I work for the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO. I'm a programs officer there, the Subcommission for Africa. I'm based in Nairobi. And what I do, I'm the focal point for the UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development. How many have heard of that? Quite a few. So you can just Google the UN Decade of Ocean Science. It's a 10-year decade program. We are 5 years into it. It ends in 2030, but we are looking into building transformative science solution, taking science from the shelves to the local communities, to industry, science that works for different stakeholders, not just science in terms of publications, but science in terms of transformative solutions. And I'm here to add into this conversation, and it is a pleasure to be in this very balanced panel. And I look forward to amazing discussions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Edwin. Now, Dr. Suare, please.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I'm Suarez Semesi. I'm heading the National Environment Management Council of Tanzania. My background is in the marine biology, but I've been working for 20 plus years. Don't look at my appearance. I'm quite old. So I've been in this sector for 20 plus years, and I've been working generally on the issues of ocean governance, community-led ocean governance, as well as the central government role in ensuring that the marine resources are quite, they supposed to be supporting the livelihood and the economy of Tanzania. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Suare. So you have to apologize. Oh, sorry, you have to forgive me. Apologize. You have to forgive me for a bit of improvisation here, as I'm just getting into the panel. So we will freestyle this a bit. So
That's what we like.
Yeah.
yeah. So let's start with the problem that I was mentioning earlier, which is we are faced with a profound crisis, compounded crisis, ocean climate. And we are still figuring out what may work and what may work in time. And the next step for that is, do we have the right conditions to do it? Like, is it the way we have been thinking about environmentalism over the last 50, 100 years? Is it giving the answers that we need in this moment? Or are there new paradigms, new ways to look at this problem? And this might be a very abstract question, but I'm sure that you have probably been thinking about this. I know that's Suare for sure, because we have been talking about this for like almost 3 years now. So I will start with you, Suare.
Thank you, Dr. Leonardo. Within the marine or the ocean sector, I think we need to come up with the strategies to be heard in order to be appreciated and being taken further as a tool that shapes the climate and a tool that shapes the economies, especially of the coastal states. The enabling environment is there, but I think it's the sector that needs to be organized and be much more strategic in reaching out the policymakers and decision makers within our countries and in such platforms. We just had a visitor from Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, and he commented, is the ocean topic part of the declaration that we're just going to be hearing that in a few minutes, in a few hours? It's not there. But then if you look of all the sectors that really shape the climate and you have the solutions to solve what we are facing so far, is the ocean. And within the African continent, we have 30,000 of plus of the coastline and vast areas within the ocean, the Atlantic, the Indian Ocean, and so forth. But then I think it's a sector that we have more of the scientists, academicians in it, and we're missing out the policy level gap between us on the ground and the decision makers. So I think we should come up with, use such platforms like the Pavilion in this week to be heard. Take our agenda further to other international and the UN platforms. You have the UNESCO IOC. I don't know how you're going to have that as an agenda on your table. Yeah, we should look at the coming UNGA, COP30, and so forth. Use those. We should be using those platforms. I'll challenge you, Dr. Leonardo from Ocean Visions. You are championing this. We should set our agenda in UNGA. We should set our agenda in Brazil, end of this year. How do we do that? That's your homework. I've been going around the side events, the sessions, and I was scanning on the blue economy. Blue economy. You can't find ocean governance, but you find blue economy sessions. And when you attend those sessions, you don't hear anything about MCDR, about the ocean as a solution to climate change. We are talking of the blue economy as the investment. But then how do you invest without managing the resources that we have? So that's a challenge to all of us. One of the deliberations that we should have from this pavilion, as it says, ocean what? Ocean climate solutions. So it should not be just been recorded and reported. We should be taken further for policy decision making. Thank you.
Thank you, Suare.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sware. I think just to give a background or a context, I think the ocean has been missing in the climate space until COP25, that the UN FCCC COP25 in Madrid. That's when the Ocean Climate Dialogue was passed into the UNFCCC. And the first Ocean Climate Dialogue took, it was held in COP27, I think, because COP26 was an online COP because of the COVID. So I think pretty much like that's when we started hearing the ocean climate issues or ocean climate nexus, because we had been forgotten as the ocean. It had been forgotten. It was not included in decisions. But since then, we are seeing a lot of ocean issues getting into the climate decisions. IOC, just to answer you, has been hosting ocean pavilions at UNFCCC events since then. And we keep on doing that so that we can champion, because the ocean is both an ally and a victim in this climate change issues. The ocean is the largest carbon sink. I have been talking this throughout the week. It's 70% of our planet, and that 70% of our planet, we have blue carbon ecosystems that are sinking carbon. And when the ocean is doing this with interferences, we also have ocean acidification, which you know what it does. You know how sea level rise impacts coastal communities. So to me, I think it's a matter of how we speak, how we communicate as scientists to policy or industry. And that's why I'm saying in the decade, we want to have like science that touches, there's scientists, there's research, there's industry, and then there's governments. These two must work together. These three stakeholders must work together. So our scientists must communicate to industry, they must communicate to government. The government must also be ready to listen to scientists, because policy must be evidence-based. We cannot do policy just out of our own thinking. There has to be research that is coordinated. Data is missing on many blue carbon ecosystems in Africa. How are we uh, uh, encouraging or improving the accessibility of data? If we want to do trials on MCDR, is that data available to know where we can do trials without impacts or large impacts? These are things that we need to start thinking about. Africa is vast. There are different ecosystems, and they are diverse ecosystems. Western Indian Ocean, they are affected by different currents. There is the Benguela current on the west. There's the Canary current. There's the Agulhas current. All these shape the different interactions of ocean ecosystems. So as scientists, if you're here as a scientist, I'm speaking on behalf of scientists. Let's work on and develop research that will really feed into these MCDR discussions. Let's produce science that is contextualized for Africa, because we don't want parachuted technologies, right? We want technologies that work for us, that are tested and viable for Africa within the context of Africa. And to do that, we must invest in our science. The governments, you must invest in research and development. We can't wait for the North to just invest in Africa. We also have a part to play. Let's invest in our own research and development. And that's why we are lagging behind, because our governments are not putting a lot of resources into science and research and development. We depend on people from abroad to shape, to fund us, and they drive their agendas to us, But if we want to drive our agenda, if we want to build our own science, then we need to be funded by our own people so that we target our own priorities. Let's not work on priorities of the global north. We have our own priorities, and this will only be shaped if we invest in our research and development. Thank you.
Thank you. And just to add something there, Asma, for Asma, yeah.
Oh,
I think you're like taking a bit of latitude here with some of the pieces that Edwin mentioned. So, African priorities. What are really the African, or what are the African priorities? Not what are really, but in the sense that are this the priorities of, say, the African group of negotiators, or are they priorities of the country leaders, or are other organizations that are setting other priorities? And in the current process, when we hear Africa should uphold these priorities, is that a top-down process, or are there initiatives that could enable participation in politics, for example? I think this is where we're getting close to your initiative. How are those priorities being developed, represented, and are they really finding their way into this discussion about African priorities?
Yeah, thank you so much. I was just trying to understand why I've been invited amongst. I'm not an ocean expert, but however, have been working on ocean, and it is an emerging topic in ICPH. And prior to ICPH, I used to work on this topic when I lived in Australia, especially around the Great Barrier Reef, as a side. But so I'm happy to give you a little bit of context to bring in the multilateral space and governance perspective. And so a little bit more about ICPH. So it stands for International Climate Politics Hub. It is a global network of about 600 members, a high trust network. We're not a branded network because we work behind the scenes to influence climate policy diplomacy in the multilateral space and bring climate action into this multilateral space. The network is composed of civil society organizations, but also academic scientists, etc. We are members of the IPCC report, and we are organized in working groups to share knowledge and intel and be able to influence the respective government and decision-making processes in these multilateral spaces like this one, like UNOC, COPs, etc. And so typically we have about 40 members here who are across the different sessions, and we meet every day to share progress and then also help influence and get our messages across the resolutions. There is also another level in the aside from the the actual declaration and agreements and that come in the multilateral spaces. It is how we implement them, and I think this is where the alliances that you mentioned and like the knowledge of experts like you is essential, because and the mobilization of organisms like subnationals actors and non-state actors who have more power locally to implement the capacity building of climate actors locally into understanding the diplomatic process and the political process, and to bridge that gap between roles that are present but doesn't translate on the ground. Yesterday, I was I attended a mandated event. I don't know if many of you on oceans. It was called Enhancing Africa-EU Cooperation on Ocean Governance and the Blue Economy, and there was a lot of very interesting initiatives there, and I'll talk a little bit more about it. But definitely, the main focus was really the blue economy and not oceans. And I imagine you will have more questions to dive in why the like moving beyond an extractive mindset when you mentioned the carbon to actually an inclusive governance is essential when we build these different frameworks. And so I'm a strong believer in indigenous leadership for systems change and the need to build those governance framework with the knowledge and the collaboration, the cooperation practice coming from our indigenous wisdom that we have in the continent and are across multiple continents as well. It's essential to think that way, because the current governance, not only for ocean, but like for the whole African climate scene is quite fragmented. We have multiple bodies like the African Negotiator, the AMSEN, the AU, and it is essential to coordinate and harmonize strategy across these bodies, so we are able to reflect like a united voice on oceans, but also beyond on climate. I will stop here.
Thank you. So, thanks. So, again, tying into this, I will go deeper on the systems part in a moment, but on the part of the ocean in the climate space, like we recently had in Dar es Salaam a workshop with like national focal points for UNFCCC. So basically, representing negotiators for Africa, we were talking about new technologies, in particular marine carbon dioxide removal. But interestingly, before we could get into the conversation about any new methods, what we were hearing as a resistance was, why are we talking about the ocean in a climate like negotiators meeting? So there was still this resistance to the idea of the ocean having a place there. And now, Cesar, you represent here a youth organization, and a youth organization in a landlocked country.
Yeah.
So
All right.
it's like very awkward guests sometimes in this kind of dinner. So tell us, like, how are you working in this space, and how are you like figuring out your way, navigating your way to represent the ocean into the climate space?
That's really nice, question. Yeah, it's awkward. For us, even it's awkward. So, thank you, my dear panelists, for such insightful session. I really appreciate. And yeah, I'm here to be voice to my young African brother and the sister. In meantime, I'm here to be voice for inland nation, right? You know, a lot of time, the ocean governments, the ocean projects, they took place in the coastal region, right? So people who live in coastal region, they do have better awareness about the ocean life. So when you come to me, like Ethiopia, we are a landlocked country, but it doesn't mean that we don't have river, pond, lake. So ocean and the climate are the topic that you will never separate. Ocean regulate climate, climate regulate ocean. So there is a big gap in use and in this sector. We are the one who closest to the challenge. We are the one who providing the solution. But we are marginalized from the sector, from the government, from the area, from the investor. So as doctor said, ocean regulates the atmosphere, right? If you come to my country, Ethiopia, rainfall pattern depend on the ocean currents, depend in Indian Ocean. You see, due to the climate change, those the ice, the glaciers melt, and due to the evaporation, currently we having unpredictable, unseasonal rain due to this. So it's time to give a space to inland country to be part of the policy maker, not to be something like consultancy. I know a lot of organization they use us to consultant about how ocean affect us, something like that, right? But it is time to collab together, to work together, and to listen what the use will have the ocean. Since we are the victim of that, so we need some voice, we need some seat before the policy going to ratify, right? Everything is regulated on policy, but as inland country, we don't have a space to share our idea, to show how we affect with this ocean. Let me give you the real scenario how inland country like Ethiopia connect to ocean, right? Especially on this ocean pollution, we do have our own significant contribution, right? People live in Ethiopia, since we don't have ocean, we are not well to how to dispose the plastic trash, something like that. So those trash collect when we have like rainy season. This season is rainy in Ethiopia, so during the rainy season, those plastic trash will collect and they join our local river. Local river will join the Nile River. The Nile join the Mediterranean. Mediterranean join India. You see how ocean connect with us. So there is a huge gap, as I said, for the use. We are like a passive participant on this sector. We still try to push the movement, but still there is a gap. We need attention from the government. We have to be institutionalized. We need some help from the government, because at the end of the day, if we are not get support, all movement will be like story. We're not going to create something solution. You know, as a youth representative of UN, I had privilege to attend a lot of conference, a lot of COP, and I see every country they have innovation to defend their people from this disaster. When you come to Africa, we don't have innovation. We have a lot of NDC, we have a lot of policy, but at time of disaster, the NDC will not keep us, right. So it's time to mobilize African youth for the African solution, and we need the mentor advisor like you, like doctor. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Cesare. So yeah, definitely this problem of massive issue, ocean climate, ocean atmosphere interaction. It's like how we do politics of the planetary system. Basically, how is it that when advancing policies, we are just chopping the pieces? And this year has been particularly relevant in this area because both at the level of UNFCCC and the Convention on Biological Diversity, there was a call to enhance policy coherence across treaties. So across framework conventions like the UNFCCC, but also, yeah, on the biological diversity, the certification, but then we have others like marine protection through London Protocol, London Convention. So that brings another challenge. Like each one of those treaties has their own mandates, and they have to advance it, and sometimes it collides. There are collisions between them. So very easy question. I'll bring to you. So you are seeing this from like a sectorial part of the in the government of Tanzania, but you are a marine scientist. Uh, how can we, for example, uh, harmonize the precautionary principle that how we understand it in a conservation treaty, like the Convention on Biological Diversity, where precaution is to prevent harm to biodiversity, while at the same time advance the precautionary principle in a development treaty like the Paris Agreement or UNFCCC, where the idea is we need to advance climate action and to prevent harm. How do we harmonize that? How can we, in governments that are so siloed in these policy areas, how can we figure out a way to put together those priorities?
Thank you for that question and an insight at the same time. How do we bring about harmonization is we can be guided by the example, the regional or the African Union strategies. We have the Blue Economy AU Agenda 2063. We can use those platforms. But then we have the international or UN bodies that brings the globe together. I like the way the discussions, they've taken years, but we, for example, the CBD or BBNJ, it was all inclusive, either you're a coastal state or in country, because everything ends at sea and the sea shapes the climate and everyone faces that. It's a global issue. So harmonization comes when we ratify or you sign, you are a signatory to a union platform that brings all of us together to discuss our issues as one. We should use the climate change COPs, we should use the CBD COPs and so forth. That brings us together as a region, as a globe together. So harmonization comes to those bodies that bring us together as different states. For example, I work with a agency that deals with environmental management. We use international standards. Each country has the ACS, Environmental and Social Impact Assessment. That's a standard that is localized, but it has an international agreement that you have to be part of. You have so many such of these tools per each sector that brings us together as one. So we should use those platforms as well as the guidelines and strategies that we can localize them, and then we work from the ground upwards and so forth. Yeah.
Thank you, Suare. So, connecting with this idea, Edwin, so we have representation from different countries. Like there are some kind of meta bodies, like the group of negotiators, but then you have groups that are going to COP, UNFCCC. There are groups that are going to CBD, and then there are like Maritime Authority that goes to London Protocol. Last year, I was at the meeting of London Protocol, and something that was really interesting to me was that the representatives, there were not many representatives from Africa, and the ones who were there did not participate in the discussion about marine, like climate interventions and marine technology. There was very little participation, almost none. We could think that it's because there is no position, or maybe the ones who are like the representatives that are going there are not trained. So what's the role of an initiative like UNESCO IOC Africa in ensuring that countries have the understanding of oceanographic issues at a level that could inform their participation and therefore also improve coordination?
It's like I want to run from this seat. That's a tough question. Why did you ask that? But no.
I'm just checking if you're working or not.
He's putting me on the spot. But first, I'm sitting on a very important stage. I have to say, Ethiopia, being a landlocked country, is the only landlocked member state for IOC, for the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission in Africa. They don't have a coastline, but they are a member state because IOC is member state driven. IOC is member state driven, so we have 38 member states across Africa, and Ethiopia is one of them. So I'm very proud of this country because they realize, just to start from there, because they realize the importance of the oceans to them. Not just in terms of how terrestrial ecosystems are connected to the ocean, but I think a lot of imports that you are coming to Ethiopia are coming through Djibouti port. And that is a direct impact for you. If the ocean is affected, Ethiopia relies, I think a lot of things here are imported from outside. So you see the impact that it will have on you. But to go to your question, Leo, I think for us, for IOC, we prime a lot on capacity development. And we've tried to work with the African group of negotiators, expert support. And they usually have the pre-COP meetings. Before COP, there is like a common position for Africa that is developed by African experts on different fields. We send and we try as much as possible to include or to support African marine scientists to attend these dialogues so that the ocean will feature in these common positions that are taken to these UNFCCC COPs. So that is one of the things that we do. We have a global online open access platform for learning. It's called the Ocean Teacher Global Academy. We have a lot of courses there on different aspects, and they are open access, free access. You just register and you access them. It's like MOOCs, massive open online courses. So these are platforms that we are giving to our African experts. Other than that, we support our early career ocean professionals. We realize that the marine scientists that we have in Africa, many of them are experienced. Yes, they are few, but they are experienced, and most of them are getting off the stage. They are, so we don't have there's a gap between the experienced scientists and the young crop of ocean scientists that we have. So we try to pair early career ocean professionals with mentors who are senior experienced scientists so that they can learn and take over. Because we realize that this is a very small circle. We advertise for consultancies, and most of the time we get the same applicants applying for these consultancies. So that shows there's a really huge gap in terms of building the next generation of ocean scientists in Africa. So we are really championing that. We work with universities, with research institutes to have centers of excellence. Like recently, we've just put a proposal with GEOMA to have an ocean climate center of excellence in Cabo Verde. And we are working with Kemfree. There is a blue economy center of excellence that we are setting up at Kemfree. So all these initiatives are trying to bridge that gap. But to end, and so that I don't speak for long, I think BBNJ agreement comes to connect all these conventions and all these treaties together. If you've not heard of the BBNJ agreement, we are only 4 signatures, 4 ratification for it to enter into force. So it's coming soon. And there'll be a mechanism just like the UNFCCC. It will have its own secretariat. There'll be a COP for it. So this is something that will bring all these treaties. And we are working to have that come into force by maybe late February next year. So please read about the BBNJ treaty, and let's try and resource its implementation. Look for resource for its implementation. Thank you.
Thank you, Edwin. So, Asma, there is this this component of training, say training for negotiators, training for young negotiators, where you are faced. Maybe I'm speculating here, but you're faced with this issue of am I just managing the status quo so that every position, everything remains the same, or are we bringing somehow the input from scientific community, for example? Are we translating the input as it is being developed, as it is emerging? And how, in your work, how is that happening? How are you making the connection between policy, negotiation, but also scientific production?
Thank you so much. This is a great question. So the creating those bridges and those links and those interface for sectors who don't talk to each other is essential. ICPH, so the way we are organized is by working groups. So we have topical working groups. On some on COP, some on energy, some on finance, climate adaptation, finance. Adaptation finance is emerging because it's a new topic, so it's people coming together. And in each of these working groups, there is a mix of scientists, academic, and civil society organization, negotiators as well. And so by coming together on a monthly basis, and meeting in person, etc., they're able to share intel and share ideas and then bring those ideas back to their space. We also produce thought leadership. So we have policy briefs that are shared, co-written by our members, and that are used and shared widely amongst a network of influencers who are in different influential bodies in the UN, in governments, in negotiation space. So the idea is to provide them with the knowledge that they can bring when they get into the decision making space. We also have regional working groups, so we make sure that the so Africa and Latam and Asia, etc. So we make sure that those the voices from the region are also coming together in these various thematic working groups and vice versa. And typically, I'll speak a little bit later about the importance of alliance between regions and between regions and globally as well. And but I just wanted to mention the precedent that the small island state of Vanuatu and Pacific Islands have the win with the recent International Court Justice Advisory opinion, and this is something that we are trying to weave into multiple spaces, because if they manage to set up a precedent, then we're trying to find out how it can be a help to advance our different topics. Thank you.
Thank you, Osman. And so this will be the last question here, and we have almost no time, but I will just take one question from the audience after this. So, Sisai, a challenge when you're working in a kind of youth politics, youth activism, and also combining it with these other elements of like working on a bit of innovation, bringing people into those worlds. There is always the problem of balancing form and substance. So, from your experience, the work that you are doing, how are you dealing with that balance? That to ensure that you're doing youth representation, but then you're also bringing capacity to the table.
Exactly. Thank you, Leo. I appreciate. The space is it's full of challenge, especially for someone like me from global south and inland country working in ocean advocacy is very tough. Yeah, last year it was only me in the country, the only ocean activist. People count me like I'm nervous. Yeah, she said, "What are you doing? We don't have any ocean." So I think you have to check your health or something like that. Yeah, I swear to God. So, it's difficult. That moment for me is difficult. But thanks to God now, I empower more than 2,000 Ethiopian youth how ocean connect with us. Even not only empowering them, I create opportunity how the country fight for the ocean. So last year I was in Greece for ocean conference. That's the key moment that I have to bring the ocean organization to Ethiopia. So they tested me very well, and finally I got certificate from the Sustainable Ocean Alliance, and Ethiopia, the only inland country that have in the community. So since then, I sent different delegates from Ethiopia. Last in April, I sent 2 delegates to South Korea to represent Ethiopia, inland country. Yeah, and then from Korea, I met this genuine brother in Nice, and even we were two. I sent another delegate. So people call me I'm crazy, but I'm gonna be crazy till I bring something to Ethiopia, especially uh, the moment that I have to work on this sector. If you read the story, we have access to port due to politics. In that time in history, we lost our port, so that make life difficult to Ethiopia. But it doesn't mean the spirit is gone, right? Through diplomacy, through the use voice, through the use vote, now the light is green to having that the law support to Ethiopia. So hopefully things gonna be fine through diplomacy. With us use, we are not ready for weapon war, right? We are ready for diplomacy war. So I know still there is a lot of challenge, but there is a lot of opportunity because ocean is the only gift that this planet provides for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sensei. Okay, you have been very patient. So my gift to you now will be offering the opportunity to ask a question. So, do we have any takers here? Also, yeah, comment will reactions. Was it fun? Was it disappointing? Was
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate all the panelists and your insights and the moderator as well. I just wanted to comment in terms of especially building the capacity for the youth. If you can connect with the African Group of Negotiators Expert Support Program, which has a very tailored training program for negotiations, diplomacy, and leadership. And so far they don't have a line for oceans, so that would be, I think, a good opportunity because that's the think tank group advising the Africa Group of Negotiators. Thank you.
anybody else?
You don't want me. So first of all, thank you very much, all of you. That was a very good discussion. Many times when you hear about policy, we shy away. We think it's boring, but I through your discussions, and throughout this pavilion, it's very clear that science needs to work with policy, and it's very important to bring everybody on the table. So I'm looking forward to engaging you more. Thank you.
Anybody else wants to take the microphone? Okay, so again, thank you so much for your patience. I think we have covered several really critical issues, from the integration of the Earth system as a political problem, trying to unify some of those concerns, to the point of how do we make work what we already have, and also how do we ensure that, for example, VV&J comes in, like we start having COPs for VV&J, and how we are going to bring the work from all the other treaties to respond to the problems. So not to just manage how the problem has been framed until now, but also respond to what climate modeling is telling us. The issue is huge. It's a massive problem of energy, materials. It's we really need to have like a reconversion into this climate positive development, and I think it's really important to pave the way for that. So I'll give you 30 seconds for your last your last comment, if you have anything that is bubbling now, and then we will close the panel. So let's start with Isai. You're
the policymaker.
No, you're young. You have all the energy to.
All right. Thank you so much, Leo. Maybe the last word will be for me. We are the one who shaping the world. We are the one who facing the challenge. So please, we need help. We need support. Unless and otherwise, we're going to be symbol. So we don't want to be symbol. We want to be like co-creation for something useful. So we need like especially for a use from Africa, not from Ethiopia, generally from the country. And since I have valuable for here, I want to deliver one statement. Please, we do have a lot of idea, a lot of innovation, because we are too clean. We are not like with politics, everything, right? But we are like water. We're clean. So we need attention. So definitely, I'm gonna reach out them, especially my brother you. So I need your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Isai.
My last point would probably be around governance, like the ocean climate nexus, and the fact that what is polluting our oceans, plastic, is fossil fuel, is the same that is polluting our air, and the need to remain below 1.5 is essential, and the reason why the plastic the recent plastic, I will find the global plastic declaration that failed is because of the fossil fuel lobby, and same than the climate. So in the Great Barrier Reef, there has been amazing initiatives to actually regenerate it, but it has been regenerated because there was still coral left to regenerate. So yes, oceans are an amazing carbon absorbent, and the idea of the CDR is great, but it's only through a governance that ensures that it's not extractive that we're going to avoid another extractive approach of our oceans. And this can only be done through indigenous-led frameworks.
Thank you, Osma.
Mine is just to thank Shamim and Mariam for pushing me to this panel. I wanted to run away from it, but I know why they they did so. It was amazing discussion. Let's keep up the passion, Sisai. I think that's what we need. We need that passion. I think these conversations must be more popular. They must continue, because that's how we gain the ears, or we attract the attention that needs to be done. So let's continue with this. Let's not give up. Let's continue with this conversation and this dialogue. That's how we will end up getting what we want. Thank you.
Thank you, Edwin.
There is a popular reggae music, Africa Unite, by who? Yeah, yeah. I know there's a lot of musicians here. Let us unite, and we already have a tool that is uniting us, the AGN. Let us strategically engage them for the ocean climate nexus. We can do it. We have the capacity, we have the resources, we have the tool. You said Ethiopia is the land of origin, and we are sitting here in Ethiopia. Let's initiate that. Africa has initiated MCDR. It can be done. It can be done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lottie. And with that comment, so that yeah, thanks again. Let's just give a round of applause to our panelists, and yeah, thank you so much for everything. So.